So I'm Louise. I'm a senior project manager at the unit. Got to work the clicker. Okay, so my boss Jim was meant to be doing this presentation, so it's not my business, but I'm growing with it. This is Jim. In 2006, Jim founded the unit, which is a Brighton agency. Started off as mainly a design agency, and now, like many people, we're moving into a more innovative space, working with the Internet of Things and working with more strategic projects with our clients in partnership. So in 2000, this isn't a picture from 2006. I think Jim would kill me if I used a picture from 2006. So Jim started the unit as a creative, passionate place and really friendly, and I think that attitude was really important to him, that we had a friendly unit of people. So this is in 2014. Some of the people in this picture are contractors, so I think there was about 8 permanent staff at this point. Jim started with 3 in 2006. So a steady growth up to 2014, and then since 2014 to now, we've sort of entered this period of rapid growth. So we're now 30 people, which I know Jim has ambitions for even more. So there's a few growing pains that comes with moving from 3 people to 30. Company-wide communication was an issue, just because the conversations were so often directly with Jim and other people. That needed to then trickle down in a different way as we grow. Similarly, try again. Sharing responsibility and accountability. So we had a head of production as well, sort of Jim's second in command. So the responsibility and accountability for a lot of years remained with those 2 individuals. So trying to get to a place where that was shared amongst project teams, departments and the wider team. And also they became bottlenecks for decision making, so they needed to empower other people throughout the organisation to start making those decisions. So the first step in trying to grow nice and responsibly was bringing on an operations director, Sarah, who's sitting over there. Give us a wave. Hi. So Sarah brought consistency of process and policy and continues to do so, working with a wider team of sort of senior and leadership, making sure that we get feedback from everyone in the organisation to do those things. So this was the start of the sort of lanky, awkward teenage, the unit, turning into a bit of a grown-up agency. Company values, ding ding, on the wall as well, just to really make it cliche. So the company values stemmed from Jim, and I think that's true to say, with him being such a driving force. But they really were built up around everyone, and like someone said earlier, with behaviour that already exists in our best team members. So excellence, obviously, we have these sort of bracketed versions for us, so never be average, don't be a dick, we heard earlier, that's my favourite. Don't stand still is really important, and no lone wolves. And some of these really do serve quite nicely for us, just to remind ourselves, if you are being a dick, someone might point it out to you. So we needed to evolve the team to fit in line with these values and really look for people that brought that humble, smart, hungry talent that we were looking for. I might have a vote later on whether you think I should have a fringe or not, but that's not very clear on that picture, so we'll see. So I'm talking here about some senior roles that we've put in place, but really I want you to see that underneath it all there's like bringing in of new talent, particularly younger people, and we are trying to form a foundation of how to structure a growing organisation to support those people. So a client partner role meant that someone speaking for our clients all the time and their users and our user focus is sort of ingrained enough. But the second in command moved to that role, so he's a bit further away from day-to-day delivery now and more focused on our clients. We had a technical director, so allowing really good leadership for our developers, which is the biggest growing team that we have. Heads of design and UX we introduced gradually, just to look at the bigger picture for the fundamental where the unit started, which was in design. So just keeping our excellent standard up for those and just supporting the team around them and bringing people up with them. And then people like me, as senior project manager and senior developers, giving people a really clear progression path. So when I joined, unless I was going to buy the company, I didn't really see what my next step was. So introducing these different roles has really helped for the more junior members like myself to progress and become at this senior level. So between all those people I've just mentioned, we've made these teams that we call the L team and the S team, but essentially forums for trickling down information, so helps to bring this sort of formal company line that we didn't have before, and less one-on-one communication between Jim and the team, and more different people line managing other members of the team, and also a really good forum for a bit more formal escalation so that Jim can concentrate on continuing to grow the business with us all, rather than getting involved in issues when he didn't need to, and giving much more autonomous sort of powers to the rest of us. Sorry, I keep going the wrong way. And commercial director as well, to most recently, just to develop the pipeline and make sure we've got all the big projects coming in that we're going to need to continue to grow. So the results from this sort of introduction of a new structure, we're upskilling everybody. So we have, like someone said earlier, similarly £900, I don't know where that number comes from, but £900 training budget each per year that we sort of decide what we do with ourselves. But also just giving people the chance, like I said, to be line managers and to mentor other team members and really use this coaching focus that Sarah's driving from the top as well. And having that at a peer-to-peer level as well, really encouraging everyone to be coaches, whether or not they're technically a line manager or not. Strategic consultancy, so a bit buzzwordy, but essentially doing more than just designing and building web pages. We're sort of moving into working on digital strategies with some of our big clients. Technical expertise, so a growing development team and doing more and more heavy lifting in back-end dev. And responsible growth, so we feel like this is a scalable platform, so with anyone having the potential to become line managing someone else, no matter what your job title, and worth saying that the people in those senior teams aren't all senior people. So there's a nice mix of it's sort of a flat structure, but with clear progression paths is what we wanted to get to. We didn't want to feel like it was too formal, as in like sort of really structured, but actually we were struggling with a really flat structure that we had before. Long-term client partnerships, everyone pushing towards a shared goal of improving our clients and their users' experiences. And innovation, so similarly as we've heard earlier, 10% of our time is spent on innovation days, which the whole team down tools and come up with more really product-focused ideas. So we're quite flexible. I think if something really big and exciting came along, we'd jump on it straight away. We're not too committed to one sort of line of work, if you see what I mean. So the product ideas we've had lately range from transport, evolution of swarm technology, all the way down to things like smart plugs and more practical things like that and more immediate. So 2016, the unit celebrated its 10th birthday. So we've still got some challenges, obviously. Remaining nimble and flexible as we scale, so not becoming too bogged down in the process, and keeping that friendly, I want to say informal, but it's sort of professional but informal is the style we try to go for. But yeah, remaining nimble as we grow. Inspecting and adapting, so obviously those agile principles of always stopping to question our process and approach. That comes down to what day do you have your innovation time on, how much money's in that budget, what that training money's spent on. And also keeping the culture, so keeping that really friendly, passionate, creative flair and personality that Jim founded the business with 10 years ago. So no better way to keep that friendly culture. Worth saying Jim's a club DJ in his spare time. Is it called that? I don't do dance music. That sounds like he goes to the disco. So no better way to celebrate and maintain that personality than taking us all to Ibiza last year for our 10th birthday. Excuse the skin on show. That's it. Thank you very much.